Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory going to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Karpadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Grace Millstone. Salutation to all you occupants out there preaching this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going out on the streets teaching and preaching, and also by way of the internet. Shalom to you very few sisters that's out there listening and learning. It's your brother Nayab, and I'm back with another news update. Give me 2 seconds. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Educational purposes only. It's not for any kinds of monetary gain.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is putting on quite a show. It is erupting on the Big Island, and that makes it the 31st display of molten rock since December. Kilauea is one of the world's most active volcanoes. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is putting on quite a show.
All right, Hamas reportedly has accepted the terms of a new ceasefire put forward by mediators from Arab countries. The New York Times is reporting the deal would see the release of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. That's according to 2 diplomats familiar with the negotiations and an Egyptian official. Unclear whether Israel would accept such a proposal, which also would allow for Israel to redeploy its forces into Gaza and allow for sufficient humanitarian aid to enter the territory. 2 of those officials told the paper. Meanwhile, the Times also reports Israel has held talks with South Sudan on accepting Gazan refugees into that country. That's according to officials and people briefed on the discussions. South Sudan publicly has denied any involvement. Let's bring in NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley, who joins us live from Tel Aviv. So, Matt, we hear from time to time, quite frequently actually, proposals, ceasefire deals, they tend to fall apart. What about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been just soul-crushing watching these negotiations rise and all of the talk, all of the optimism, and then just to see them come crashing down. This really could be the same thing. And there's, nobody's using the word optimism anymore around these negotiations because they've just failed so frequently. Now, this one, given this Hamas approval that we heard about yesterday, it looks like the ball is very much in Israel's court. And we've been seeing a lot of internal division tearing apart at the fabric of this country here in Israel for just the past couple of days. NBC News spoke with Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdel-Ati, who has been instrumental in presenting this proposal from the Egyptians that now Hamas has signed on to. We spoke to him really just about an hour ago, and here's what he told us about this proposal.
It has 3 main pillars. One is, of course, a ceasefire for 60 days. And during this period of ceasefire, to start negotiations between Hamas and Israel for ending the war and having a sustainable ceasefire. The second pillar is, of course, to allow the flow of humanitarian and medical aid to Gaza as soon as possible to deal with the current starvation in process in Gaza. The third pillar is related to the release of hostages, 10 alive hostages, and around 18 bodies in return of release of
All right, Hamas reportedly has accepted the terms of a new ceasefire put forward by mediators from
We have some news right now. There are renewed concerns right now about Donald Trump's health after images taken over the past 24 hours show significant bruising on his hands once again. This is one of the photos taken by Getty in the past 24 hours, and if you look, that is significant bruising right over here. That theoretically could be makeup to try to cover up bruising, but it's very discolored. It obviously does not look like a normal hand. Look at my hand compared to that hand. Very different. Now, previously, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt brushed all of these concerns off, saying that Donald Trump's hands are bruised because of the amount of times that he shakes hands with other people. But other presidents haven't had similar issues to Donald Trump here. Other presidents haven't had significant bruising on their hand from shaking hands with other people. We know that he has that chronic venous insufficiency in his legs. We don't know about his hands. So there's now concern once again. Spread the word. Follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Did you think that the people over in Israel, that those that war-torn land, that those are the true Hebrew Israelites? That in 1948, that's what's God gathering his people and making Israel a nation again? Because no, that ain't going to happen until the end of days when he gathers his people from the four corners of the earth. We're coming in and makes a multitude. Majority of them, they're all white. We got a problem here now. We got a problem. Because you change the people, you most certainly change the message. You change all the prophecy. You change all the prophecy. That's like when people try to interpret Daniel and all these things, they fall off in 1948. Because you put them as the people of the book, such as the Christians put those Jews as the people of the book, as the ancient Israelites. I mean, they're calling Abraham a Jew for crying out loud. Oh, but so I'm going to cut this short. It's just interesting. I don't expect you all to hear me anyway. But you Israelites out there, you be very careful when you have a man in front of you that won't address who the true Hebrew Israelites are. They're up to something. And you know that those people over there in that land of Jerusalem right now, that's a synagogue of Satan being trodden down by the Gentiles. See, you got to know the book. And you change the people, you're changing all perspective and prophecy. And anybody that's
Behind those mountains is where ISIS or Daesh is hiding out, and you can see the terrain is very inhospitable, and along this whole long coastline, 1,600 kilometers of it, is where they operate, using fishing boats, anything to actually get ashore. And it happens 24/7 during the day, during the night, and they're getting help now from those who used to be pirates. They've now switched to working with the extremists and helping to smuggle arms and people into the IS headquarters. They call this the mothership. Captain says he's already been on board about 3 months. He's expecting to stay on for another 2 or 3. A lot of their raids on the fishing boats and the speedboats that come through here is based on intelligence, and he's stopped some in the last few months with 50 small arms on board, another with 150 on board. I guess the worry is that many more are getting through that they don't know about. They've just spotted a speedboat, a suspicious speedboat, which they want to check out. Seems to me they're not only outmaneuvered by the extremists, who've got so much area and sea to play with, but they're also out-resourced and outnumbered, definitely. The Yemeni coast is not too far away. They've been finding that the Houthis have been using that route to come here. It only takes them about 5, 6, 7 hours by high-speed boat, and they're headed to these mountains. Behind those mountains is where IS or Daesh are hiding out. They use this waterway to deliver not only food supplies, not only fighters, but most importantly, arms and weapons.
What the fuck? Shit is not moving.
It's meta, bro. I'm telling you, it's that
It's
AI
meta,
shit.
bro.
It's meta. It's that meta shit.
As Kilmar Abrego Garcia was leaving the jail in Tennessee and was in his car on the way up to Maryland, the government designated Uganda as the country of removal. It is preposterous that they would send him to Africa, to a country where he doesn't even speak the language, a country with documented human rights violations when there are so many other options. This family suffered enough. They need to stop trying to separate them. We are going to resist that in every way possible, and we hope that everyone who supported him this far will continue supporting him and will continue resisting the weaponization of the immigration system to try to tear apart this family.
I need y'all to wake up and realize that what's going on in D.C. is crazy. They don't even try to hide it at this point. You got cops walking up, breaking into people's cars without their say-so. And we're supposed to sit back and act like this shit normal? It's not. Somebody said it best. This is the federal government showing us what's to come. Civil rights, out the window. Human rights, out the window. They trying to push the country into a dictatorship mode right in our face. Look at this shit, y'all. And they don't care. This shit crazy. That's not legal. I don't think people fully understand yet that what's going on in D.C. is going to go on all over in every state. People just don't understand. And you got people on the comments talking about, well, that's what we voted for. Great job, Trump. Great job. I'm telling y'all, those going to be the people that's like, damn, we fucked up. When everything hit the fan, they going to be mad as fuck. I'm not going to lie, y'all. We got to...
New York Supreme Court Justice Aaron Gall, is this you? Or they'll be shot on the property. Well, I'm just saying every day. I'll shoot them on the property.
New video just released capturing State Supreme Court Justice Aaron Gall threatening to shoot a group of black teenagers.
They'll be shot on the property.
Well, I'm just letting you know that
because
the best case
when they trespass, you can shoot them on the property.
They should just come here and just... No, I'm just saying every day.
I'll shoot them on the property.
Every day, no.
The judge was at a high school graduation party at her friend's house. During the scuffle, the teens lost the keys to their car and couldn't leave the neighborhood, appearing to upset Gall, who wanted the children to leave, but refused to turn over their car keys if she found them.
If the key turns up...
We're absolutely going to throw it in the toilet. You're welcome.
Somebody's sister's coming to pick them up and get them out of here, and I'm going to get his information, and if we find the keys...
The cop car, let them wait there.
5 law enforcement agencies arrived on the scene during the more than hour-long ordeal, during which the New York State Commission on Judicial Conduct said the judge repeatedly invoked her judicial office.
And that's Judge Gall. I'm a judge. I'm telling you, get off the...
Hey, go wait at the car.
Supreme Court judge.
I know you, Judge.
Sitting here.
Violence.
I'll shoot them on the property. If I have to clear it out, I will.
And both criticized and pledged favored treatment for the police.
The good part is, I'm always on your side. You know I take anyone down for you guys. You know that. You know that. You know I am on your side.
Video also captures the judge making comments about the black teens' intelligence levels.
They don't look like they're that smart, honestly. You're not going to physics school, that's right.
And praising her son for beating up partygoers, among other comments.
He put him smack down once he got hit.
I didn't say it was one-sided.
The commission now calling for the judge to be removed from the S6. It is utterly unacceptable for a judge to threaten gun violence, exhibit racial prejudice, promise favorable treatment for the police, or disparage a law intended to keep guns away from dangerous people. Any one of these things would undermine public confidence in the administration of justice. That all this and more was committed by one judge disqualifies her from further service on the bench.
So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for a post that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security. When I asked for proof, like what the posts were yesterday, they refused to give it to me. They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. Now, when I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel. But yet, I am deemed a threat to national security because I do not support Israel and their genocide against the Palestinian people. Yes, you heard that right. I am deemed a threat to national security because I don't support Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people. Since when does not supporting a foreign nation...
Let me get this right quick. This is Mark 3:25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
Get a U.S. soldier investigated for being a threat to national security.
We have some news right now. The Trump administration has been caught violating the law again. This time the Department of Homeland Security is not accurately keeping text messages in violation of the Federal Records Act. And so, because of that, the public may never know what the true communications are between senior officials, especially as it's related to National Guard deployment. According to the New York Times, the Department of Homeland Security has not kept text message data since April in likely violation of the Federal Records Act. Essentially, a nonprofit group asked the Department of Homeland Security through a public records request for all communications related to the deployment of the National Guard in Los Angeles earlier this year, along with communications associated with the Alligator Alcatraz facility in the Everglades. And the Department of Homeland Security says, well, we don't have it. Why don't they have it? Because they're no longer maintained. Essentially, they're being deleted in real time, which is a violation of the law. The executive branch is required to preserve these records. And will anything come out of it? I don't know. But right now, the Homeland Security Department is preventing the public from seeing the truth about what's actually happening within the federal government. And more people need to know, so spread the word and follow along for more.
Allah. Allah.
We have some big news right now. Donald Trump is now saying that he's rethinking the decision to give federal funds to rebuild the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Maryland after Governor Wes Moore, according to him, in a rather nasty and provocative tone, says that Trump should, quote, walk the streets of Maryland with the governor. Donald Trump took real offense to the fact that Governor Moore asked Donald Trump to walk around Maryland with him before deploying the National Guard, and just now says that he has to essentially rethink the decision to give federal funding to fix the Francis Scott Key Bridge. He is going after Governor Moore because Moore is refusing to deploy the National Guard in Maryland, saying we don't need that. And Donald Trump is now taking personal offense to the fact that Governor Moore asked him to come to Maryland, which is right around the corner from Washington, D.C., and walk around and see what's happening, and essentially threatening federal funding while doing so. So spread the word. I'll do a full breakdown.
Switzerland might be the only country on this earth that's prepared for the end of the world, y'all. Got over 370,000 bunkers. Enough for their whole population. Law, every citizen there gotta have a bunker. So it ain't no just billionaires getting in. It ain't no lottery you gotta win. It's guaranteed for every citizen to have a bunker. They got tunnels underneath their mountains with blast doors as big as houses, y'all. Do y'all know how fucking big that is? Sonnenberg Tunnel is built to house over 20,000 people, y'all. It got its own hospital in there. It got food. It got water. Everything. You name it. As of right now, most people are using these bunkers as storage or as a wine cellar. But by law, these bunkers gotta stay ready. As of right now, with the world on edge, Switzerland is dropping millions to upgrade these bunkers right now. I don't know if y'all understand. If something was to go down while the rest of the world is panicking, running around and shit, trying to find somewhere to go, Switzerland, they chilling because if it hit the fan, they gonna go right to the bunker because everybody has a spot. Switzerland.
Israel won't let journalists in there is because they don't want the world to see what they're doing to these people. Period. That's the reason, and everybody, including you, knows it. The problem here is that you're not allowed to tell the truth. You're Israel's lawyer, and you got to defend them no matter what. Natasha, does Israel have nuclear weapons?
Sorry, I'm an independent
Does Israel have nuclear weapons?
The English bar.
Yes or no?
That's a good question.
I'm not instructed.
Yes or no?
I'm
yes
not
or no,
instructed.
Natasha? Do they have
Israel have nuclear weapons, Natasha?
Why do you think I would know any better than Lucas?
What's the name of your company?
You do know. You are not telling the truth, and so you won't say it.
Hang on.
Here, Pierce, let me just say, it's disqualifying to this conversation. You're playing a different game than me and Pierce are. We are having a conversation about what's actually going on. You're a lawyer who's not allowed to incriminate your client, which is Israel, because you know the answer the same way Pierce knows it, the same way I know it. Do they have nukes?
It wasn't about Israel. Why is everything that happens in the world the fault of Israel then?
This is such a blatant straw man. I didn't say everything in the world is the fault of Israel. I'm saying they were also guilty of this.
But why are you putting emphasis on them when George W. Bush and Tony Blair were using their bully pulpits to make this point to a far wider audience than some guy in the Middle East called Benjamin Netanyahu?
If you think that I am removing any of the blame from George W. Bush or Tony Blair, I assure you you're wrong, and you don't know what you're talking about. I've been blasting them for years. They're war criminals who should be in the Hague.
I agree.
That is not the issue. We are talking specifically about the nation of Israel right now, so I'm talking about their responsibility. And why is it, by the way, that this is always a one-way street? You know, I hear all the hawks constantly being like, Iran said this, Iran threatened this. What about the threats in the other direction? Are we doing this? This is a country that poses no threat to the United States of America. And if you guys want to try to hang on the fence here and go, hey, I'm not telling Americans what to do. I think Israel should do it on their own. But that's just a fantasy land. They're not doing it on their own. They're doing it with our weapons, with our intelligence.
And you know what the worst part is?
The family of Virginia Roberts Giuffre now speaking out, saying they are outraged by the DOJ's interview with Maxwell. Giuffre died by suicide in April, and information she provided to law enforcement was actually critical in securing Maxwell's conviction for sex trafficking, a charge and conviction that Maxwell's attorney maintains that despite the conviction, she is not guilty of. The Giuffre family statement reads in part, during Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's bizarre interview, she is never challenged about her court-proven lies, providing her a platform to rewrite history. This travesty of justice entirely invalidates the experiences of the many brave survivors who put their safety, security, and lives on the line to ensure her conviction, including our sister.
We have some news this evening. The first ever human case of the flesh-eating screwworm has officially been identified in Maryland, according to new exclusive reporting from Reuters. According to Reuters, the person who currently has the flesh-eating screwworm traveled to the United States of America from Guatemala. Many veterinarians learned of this first ever human case in the United States of America on a phone call with the CDC in the past week. Now, I want to say that there are going to be a lot of videos on this app freaking out about this, but there is no cause for concern at this time. Now, these screwworms rarely infest humans, but when it does happen, that can be fatal. And while these parasites can really, the issue really here is devastating cattle and cattle production in the United States of America if there really is a breakout. Spread the word so more people know. I'll do a full breakdown of this and more in my...
This is a mock neighborhood that ICE has set up for new recruits to come in and practice doing what they would do out in the field. This is an obstacle course that ICE agents and new recruits have to finish in under a minute 45. New recruits take turns driving in simulated high-speed chases, how to handle a gun, and how to even break down doors in a mock simulation of an American neighborhood. The agency is scrambling to bring on new hires amid President Trump's promise for mass deportations.
We're carrying out historic deportations.
Before this hiring surge, the onboarding process for a new agent typically took up to a year, including screening and vetting. Now they're moving agents through here in 8 weeks in what used to be a 13-week course. Former agents are concerned the agency is cutting corners when it comes to bringing on new hires to boost its deportation numbers. But here on the ground, ICE Director Todd Lyon says he's not concerned about that. Says they found a way to streamline the program. They say they've cut the Spanish language portion and they've done away with a lot of the redundancies in the training.
I've been out here for the past 2 days. I've gone through so many of the classes that I went through back 20 years ago, and it's so much better. What they are getting is top-of-the-line training. I'm confident and proud of the product we're doing down here.
Can you guarantee ICE will not be on school campuses on Monday in D.C.?
You're not going to see ICE officers doing a raid or a sweep, if you will. But our goal, one that Secretary Noem is passionate about, is finding those 300,000 undocumented children and those minors that came here to the last administration. We've seen so many cases of some of these children that we've rescued in sex trafficking rings, human trafficking rings, forced labor.
We pressed him on the few cases where American citizens were mistakenly arrested and then released. Do people just have to bring passports with them everywhere they go to prove their citizenship?
No, that is a training issue that we're working on.
Yeah.
Was President Trump, were you enraged when you learned that Russia targeted an American company based in Ukraine?
I don't
was
like
that not
it,
a slap
Kristen.
in the face
I
to
don't
the peace
like
process?
it, Kristen. But this is a war, and this is why we want to stop the killing. The Russians have done a lot of things that we don't like. A lot of civilians have died. We've condemned that stuff from the get-go, and frankly, President Trump has done more to apply pressure and to apply economic leverage to the Russians, certainly than Joe Biden did for 3.5 years when he did nothing but talk, but do nothing to bring the killing to a stop. So you asked me what I'm enraged by. What I'm enraged by is the continuation of the war. What I'm enraged by is a presidency and Joe Biden who for 3 years did nothing to end the killing. What I'm actually excited about right now is that we have a president who's engaging in energetic diplomacy to try to stop the killing. That's as it should be. I think the American people should be proud of it. And whatever the outcome of this, whether the war ends in 3 months or 6 months or hopefully not beyond, but maybe, we should be proud that we have a president who's trying to stop the killing. He's done it, by the way, 6 wars that the president has brought to a close all over the world. This would be the 7th. It's the most complicated, but we're trying despite that.
Taiwan has issued a warning to the Prime Minister that a Chinese invasion would allow Xi Jinping to control the world through Taiwan's computer chip industry. The Taiwanese Deputy Foreign Minister compared the country's chip sector to the Czech armaments industry that benefited Nazi Germany in World War II. Taiwan supplies 60% of global computer chips and 90% of those needed for artificial intelligence.
With that, until next time, shalom.